is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today I'm seeing the transporter Refueled. Now here's the thing. I saw that title come up for this week, and I say, the transporter Refueled. And I speak to myself and I say, that sounds like a sequel. So I look it up. I look it up on IMDb, and I see this movie has... This is based on the Transporter. And there's also a Transporter 2 and a Transporter 3. And there's a Transporter series that lasted 2 seasons. Have I totally missed an entire franchise? How did this happen? And I hear rumors that this is supposed to actually be a remake? A remake of the first movie from 2002? It's Refueled makes it sound like a sequel, kind of like Reloaded or something. But apparently it's a sequel / remake. I don't know. What? I did not know this was a series at all. I asked one of my friends, he said he never heard of it either. From what I can see, all of the posters look exactly the same for each of these movies, which is hilarious. It's the same guy. Except for Transporter Refueled, but the ones for 1, 2, and 3 are showing a guy with 2 guns going, "Ooh!" And that's amusing. But, Jesus Christ, what the hell is this? Transporter has a 6.8, so that's average. Budget of 21 million, gross 9. So let me see here, like, where's the worldwide gross? It usually has something like that. Okay, so it did make its money. Sorry, first Transporter definitely made a profit here. Okay. Yeah, because usually in order for Hollywood to approve all of these movies, they have to have made some sort of profit here. And it's hard to understand that if I haven't seen anything like that. I tried to look it up on Netflix, by the way, but it wasn't there. So, yeah, boo-hoo. Alright, next movie was budget of 32, grossed 43. So, that's okay. Guess that's enough for Transporter 3. What's that got? 6.1. These movies are all in the 6 area, so it doesn't do that well among audiences. Oh, Jesus. Alright, it looks like the third movie tanked. Oh no, it never mind. Misread that. So it barely made its money back, apparently. And this movie, I know, it's not telling me what the budget was, but it's earned like 7 mil, which is pretty bad for a Hollywood blockbuster. And no advertising for this thing either. I don't know what to think of it. It's an anomaly, I swear. Alright, I guess I have to say something about the movie itself. It's something to do with cars, I guess. The transporter suggests he's transporting someone or something. I don't know. I guess I'm also gonna have to evaluate whether somebody going into it not knowing what the fuck this comes from will be able to understand. Really nervous about it. I'm not sure what to expect here. I guess we'll see. Who funded this? who funded this? Seriously, who funded this? As I said, I didn't see the other movies, but, and also the way the movie's structured makes me think, okay, this is not the same guy as in the other movies, this is the son of that guy, right? I'd hope so, because this guy, if you told me this guy carried 4 movies, I'd call you a goddamn liar. This guy, the guy who plays the main character in this, is the most boring, phony-looking badass I've ever seen. Like, there wasn't a single second where I'm looking at this guy and I don't think he's acting, and I think, oh, this is so real. No. Every time he's on screen, he's like, I'm a super soldier car driver. Bleh. All of his fight scenes were super quick cuts, shaky cam, everything to disguise the fact that they couldn't get any good choreography out of him. His dad was in there. His dad was entertaining, telling me that he was probably the star of the other movies. I'm looking it up right now just to make sure. And he is way better. Probably wasn't allowed to be on this one because he's old, but I would have preferred him. The movie itself has so many plot holes. It's actually kind of funny. For instance, basically this whole thing is that the transporter is a guy who uses his car and he transports people and materials with his car, and he'll do any kind of job, and he doesn't ask names and he doesn't get involved. It's just give him money, he gets you there, no questions asked. That's kind of the whole thing here. At least that's what I gathered just from what they gave me. So, at the beginning, he was laying down the ground rules with this lady. He was like, alright, how many passengers? And she said, just one. I said, alright, any kind of packages? And she said, yes, 2, 130 pounds, together, or something like that. And he was like, alright, and remember, once the deal is made, you can't change it. If it changes, I walk away. That's how it works. The deal is the deal. And she said, alright. And then later we find, like, he's waiting in the car, she comes in, and he says, alright, you have 5 seconds for the package to come in, the packages. And then 2 women walk in there, and she's like, these are my packages! Okay, so you might be going, what? And that's what I did. And of course he immediately tries to back out. The cops, of course, are noticing this weird behavior of, like, these 3 women all dressed, by the way, all dressed in, like, obviously fake blonde wigs and sunglasses and just walking out of a bank and stuff. And, like, they almost get caught. They almost get pulled over. And they have to, like, make this big retreat, because the cops notice them and they chase them, and they have this big chase scene, and several cops get horribly, brutally injured in these car accidents, because she didn't just say, 3 passengers, thank you. That's all that was required. And at no point do we ever find out why she addressed them as packages when they're people. I never got... Maybe it was a rule in the other movies or something, but I never got any indication he was a 1-passenger guy. He said, how many passengers? Why would he ask that if he was assuming you'd only have 1? But... why not just say 3 passengers? You could have avoided this whole thing. Like, they would have walked in, he would have been like, right, and they just drive off. No problems. Instead, you had to risk all these people's lives, and it doesn't make any goddamn sense why they did that. Alright, so, Ed Skrein plays our terrible lead actor. From the looks of his bio, he's only in this movie. And let's see, Mr. Ray Stevenson plays his dad, who's the cooler dude. Let's see. And he is known for better movies, and he was also not in the other Transporters, so maybe this is a remake. Is anybody from the other movies in this? Anyone? This is so weird. They mentioned, like, we go way back and all that, like, with the villains. The villains, by the way, who we don't get any kind of exposition on why we should hate them. They're just villains. We get, like, a hint that they're linked to some sort of prostitution ring, and that's it. That's the entire reason we have to hate them. So lazy. By the way, the entire film looks like it was funded by the Sci-Fi Channel. It's the cheapest looking piece of crap I've ever seen. The theater was empty. Everyone hates it, apparently. Has like a 4-point-something on IMDb now. And, God, it was so hard to follow. So hard to get involved in anything. Apparently fans of the series don't even like this. The fans I didn't know existed don't seem to like this. Here's somebody on IMDb. Refueled is the type of garbage that not even a hungry hobo would risk touching. Okay. It was awful. Honestly. God, hard to describe. Just so incompetent, the entire thing. It looked like it was a middle school play, almost. Just in how low-key most of the acting was, how terrible the direction was, how sophomoric all of the action scenes were. It had a hint every now and then of something creative coming through, and it was gone in the next scene. You had a hint of story and characters, and that slides off. What's even the point of this movie? Who asked for this? Who wanted this? Ah, jeez. God, I just don't understand how this thing even got funded, honestly. I can't tell if it's bombed or not. Like, IMDb doesn't have its budget, like I said before, but Jesus. What the hell is going on here? So yes, I do not recommend it at all. This was a made-for-TV film that somehow got onto a screen. Maybe the other movies are better. I have no freaking clue. I'm gonna see who starred in those other movies. They have to be better. Like, here's the thing. A lot of movies, like spy movies or, you know, movies involving an action movie, usually involve somebody who's a total badass, right? Or at least becomes a total badass. Even Hitman Agent 47, which I didn't like. The guy playing Agent 47, he looks like a badass. He looks like he could take on a fucking army by himself, right? And this is the same type of character. He looks like a toll booth operator. He doesn't look like a badass. He doesn't act like a badass. He tries to. He, like somebody who just came out of like high school Shakespeare trying to act like a badass. Like that's the kind of performance you get out of him. But, Jesus. Jason Statham was the guy. So they replaced Jason Statham with that other dude. in the next movie. Was he in the other three? I'm gonna check this. I'm gonna check this really fast. I'm sorry if I'm holding anybody up, but let's see. Jason Statham is. He was also in Transporter 2 and in Transporter 3. Okay, what the fuck? What the fuck? Here's the thing. Say you're doing another sequel in a series, and the main fucking character doesn't want to... The main actor doesn't want to do this movie. That is usually a clue that you shouldn't do the movie in the first place. But, you have this brilliant idea. He's kind of old. We'll bring in a fresh new guy who's gonna play his son, right? That works. That works fine. The person here, Frank Martin, the character Frank Martin, is a main character in this movie! They replaced him, and they have him in most of the scenes, just acting as, instead of acting as a badass, acting as Princess Peach. That is the stupidest decision I've ever heard. Alright? Imagine this. Imagine the next Die Hard movie. Imagine instead of having Bruce Willis playing John McClane, instead you have, I don't know, Pierce Brosnan. Okay, someone who is very clearly not him, and you have him playing an old man. You have him playing the same character as an invalid or something. I don't know, not an invalid. You have him playing a sidekick who is in the entire movie. That would be the equivalent. You get Pierce Brosnan playing John McClane as a sidekick. Usually when you have to do something like that, when the main character does it, most movies are smart enough to just have them in a picture frame, have them in a flashback, have like a stand-in where you don't quite see their face. They're smart enough to know it totally breaks immersion here. When we're given a totally different looking guy and expected to believe that's him. You know, I guess it works with freaking with James Bond movies, but those are a big exception. Like they're to compare the Transporter series to the freaking James Bond franchise is hilarious. Where am I even going with this? The movie's bad, don't watch it, and until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer. You have been watching a Dyer-Situation.